Okay,
sound is
let's do that.
working.
It's Kanye time.
Check, check, check.
Two.
Sibilance. Hey, hey, everybody.
Hello, welcome.
Afternoon.
Getting sound. Need sound from the laptop, please. I'm
No,
playing something.
Well,
Wait, hold on. Let me
now
say
it
top.
says it can't play the current song.
Are we on internet?
Yeah, of course.
I was IT in my former life.
Yeah, IT.
Hang on one
Lady.
sec.
All right, let's play this. This is a Spotify hell.
You're listening on MacBook Pro. Maybe click on here and see. There we go. All right. We also probably need to maybe
Look
change.
it.
Maybe need to change the. It might be the
It's-
the internet. Maybe the internet.
Internet's slow.
It's a network problem. It has nothing to do
Yeah, it's a network problem.
Yeah.
Do we
You
have
wanna-
are the
you wanna
songs
work
on a
on it?
link?
Yeah, they're on SoundCloud, so
Oh,
you're
they're
gonna
on-
have the same
oh,
problem.
okay.
Most of the kids use SoundCloud or Spotify links. So
It's
hang on a
Kanye's
sec.
fault.
It's totally Conway blew it up.
Who's a songwriter in here?
Talk-
Everybody.
How about artists?
So fun.
Artists. Okay, that's good to know. And what about people who want to be managers or A&R people? Okay, so mostly
Nice.
songwriters who may want to write for other artists. Is that?
You got to speak up.
Aha.
Haha.
So he said songwriters, but is that songwriters who want to write for other artists, or
Must
is
be.
that accurate? Okay.
Right?
All right.
You want to have big hits on the radio? Yeah? That's what it's about.
And
That's
that's
fun,
where-
hearing a song that you wrote on the radio, right? It's fun.
And that's where Amanda Samii comes into the picture.
Benjamin, you're the best.
So we agreed that we would introduce each other.
You have to talk closer.
Talk closer.
Yeah, there you go. Now I can
Thank
hear
you.
you.
See, you really
I don't know.
were-
Can you hear him? Okay, then I'm just rude. Yeah, we decided that we were going to introduce each other because we know each other really well.
Mhm.
You guys, sitting next to me is a legend, and I'm not kidding you. This is Benjamin Groff. Benjamin
you.
Groff, yes. He's based in Los Angeles, and Benjamin Groff is the guy who gave me my job 9 years ago at Kobalt. Benjamin Groff, you're so many things.
You're so,
You are.
and you are hilarious. But continue.
Benjamin Groff is truly one of the best song pluggers in the business. He's someone that I have learned everything from. Honestly, we talk about this a lot because he's somebody who helped mentor and believed in me. If you've been in any of the classes this week that I've been privileged enough to sit in on, I tell this story because it has so much meaning for me in my career. But when I came in for my interview at Kobalt, there was already a receptionist behind the desk, right? And I walk in and I said, I'm here to see Benjamin Groff. I didn't want to say what I was coming there for because God, I was about to potentially take this guy's job.
You were.
Yeah, and
We
he
were-
goes,
we were
and
getting rid of
the
them.
phone rings, and Benjamin's in an office behind the receptionist desk, and the phone rings, and the guy's like, Cobalt music, and kind of puts the phone down, and then he knocks on Benjamin's door, and goes inside, and he's like, Benjamin, there's somebody on the phone for you. And Benjamin's looking at him, and there's a little bit of silence. He's like, yeah, and did you ask who it was? He was like, I didn't. And in that moment, I knew that was going to be my job. I was like, I'm going to be the person that gets the name and the number. And Benjamin hired me. But he is
right.
you've been a publisher for how long now?
It's a little over 25 years now at this point. But yeah, and
It's amazing. And you were at Kobalt for
10 years. I started the first U.S. office in 2006 and was the executive VP of creative there for 10 years. And along the way, I had started my own little publishing company called Brill Building, which I was very fortunate for Willard, who's the CEO, to allow me to do with my own money. And then about 10 years in, we made the decision that that Kobalt would be more of the partner for me, and I was going to do Brill Building full time. So I've been doing that for, it's going to be 4 years in March. And then my other history is 10 years with the majors between BMG and EMI Music Publishing and some other little gigs before that.
And before that, where were you? Where did you go to school?
Oh, this little place called Berklee College of Music.
Berkeley alumni.
Yes, and you went to school somewhere too, didn't you?
I went to Berkeley College of Music as well.
High five, Berkeley, high five.
What did you study?
I was performance on guitar and songwriting major. Yeah, and you were professional.
I was
music?
business. I started as a songwriter and realized I was terrible at it. Honestly, I realized very quickly because I played the piano and I was a composer, but I realized that I hated being a songwriter because I didn't work well with people in a room like collaborating on songs, and I just didn't know what I was doing. So I switched to business quickly. I would walk up and down the practice room hallways. I don't know where those are now because Berkeley is really fancy now. And I just remember thinking I didn't love it like the other songwriters loved it. And I would be in the songwriting classes, and I was so...
made up centuries ago. They made it sound all wacky and horny. Yes, it's...
We can use that.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a little bit of a clown car here.
I realized that I didn't love it like they did. Because you saw the passion and determination and drive by so many of these students that I sat next to, and I was just so impressed with the skills, the natural skill that they possessed. So business was the next thing for me because I loved people. So here we are today. Benjamin, you get to introduce me now.
Oh, great.
It's
okay.
your turn.
Yes, so Amanda Samii.
I've been honestly waiting for this for 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's make this a yearly thing.
I like that.
Yeah. So 9 years ago we met, and Amanda came in the office, and we had a great interview with Amanda, and we're like, we should hire this woman. And so
You had to fight for me too. You had to remember you kept calling, and it was a thing. Like you wanted me to work there.
I did.
You did.
Absolutely.
It was awesome.
And you were working at another job too that
Yeah.
we had to rescue you from.
You did. You
With
rescued.
No
That's what I mean.
names. No names will be mentioned. But yeah, exactly.
Talk to us later.
Yes,
That's-
absolutely. And Amanda just immediately was someone who took the job. Like there are people who you work with who you count on things going wrong and not getting done, and there are people who this is such a nice
Yeah, turn that down. It's like this goes with the song.
and then you can count on people doing things right. and
That's good sync music. Whoever wrote that.
and doggone it, people like me. No one understood that reference. That's okay.
In my
okay.
heart.
Sure.
Sorry,
And-
now I can't stop it. Like my phone is like really. All right.
And then I got hired.
Yes.
It was so fun.
All right.
So Amanda just absolutely killed it as you were hired as
receptionist.
/ kind of assistant.
Yeah.
And then kind of migrated more to being a creative assistant, and then allowed Amanda was starting doing song pitching, and a big thing with what publishers do is coordinate these collaborations and setting up co-writes, and so
I made sure you were where you needed to be when you needed to be.
That's right. And so not even with me, but for all the writers, and making sure that the sessions happened. And because one thing is getting the idea for a collaboration, but then the other is actually scheduling it, making sure it happens, people that aren't going to space out. And Amanda was just amazing at that. And then also starting to put together her own ideas and her own pitches, and then also bringing in people to sign. And one of those people was Billie Eilish.
Well, yes, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And I ended up signing Phineas O'Connell, who will be here at Cafe 939 on Thursday from 1 to 3 p.m. If you're going to be here, then we'll see your beautiful faces then. But yes, Phineas was someone. Phineas O'Connell is the writer-producer for everything Billie Eilish. It is Billie's brother. He tours with her. He's so much more than that. He is also a recording artist himself. He writes and produces all of his own music. He also writes and produces for other artists. This year, he's worked with people like Camila Cabello, Sam Smith, John Legend. He works across a lot of different things. He's a very busy man.
Yeah. And you've also signed Marshmello.
I signed Marshmello.
And Michael Matosic.
Michael Matosic. Matosic.
Okay.
He's done all of the big Lauv records. The other, I Like Me Better. Fuck, I'm Lonely with Anne Marie. The new record, The Sims. You signed. Let's talk about your roster. Very early days, Greg Kirsten.
Sure.
And the big. I mean, let's talk about Kelly Clarkson, LMFAO.
Sure.
Ryan Tedder.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
We could go all day.
Well,
we
could go for
But we're also here for
we
you.
could go for 5 minutes, actually, but you know.
Only 5 minutes.
No, I'm
Okay.
just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably.
We'll get started.
Let's get started.
Okay. Okay. We know clumsy. We can do this.
Bonnie, I need your face.
Oh. Or your passcode.
Let's leave it on never.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so we at Kobalt we've worked across genres. We get to work with all different labels. It's been amazing because Kobalt has been a huge disruptor in the publishing space, right? And with clients like Max Martin, who I would assume everybody in this room knows if you're a songwriter, and working with Max's company. I mean, these were things that really speak volumes about the type of talent that we work with at Kobalt. So we've really, we pride ourselves on wanting the best. There's definitely quality control. But we're also not afraid to take risks. Benjamin very early on also signed Grimes and Sophie, if you're familiar with it. And I remember the first time you played me Sophie and being like scratching my head like, he's like, trust me, this is going to be amazing. And, and obviously she's incredible and she blew up. But if you guys remember the Lemonade, that was the song that really kind of got things going for her. But how are we doing?
Yeah,
I was just killing time.
I think we're good to go.
Okay,
yeah.
awesome.
And as publishers, just as just like a little background, what Amanda and I do is you have labels on the master side and the record label side who are A&R people looking for artists to sign to the label. We as publishers are looking for songwriters, either they're songwriters for other people or songwriter artists looking to sign for publishing rights and nurture and develop and. That's our basic.
Our daily job is really helping facilitate relationships and opportunities.
Right.
Putting people in sessions and then pitching songs, and that's a full-time job.
Yeah. And that's why we're here too.
That's why we're here.
We did it. Oh, fantastic! Great.
Got a different,
Great.
computer because my computer shit the bed.
That happened.
But on my own little Brill building roster, I've been able to sign 3 writers right out of Berkeley from making these types of trips. One's Jake Torrey, the other is Noah Conrad, and the other is I just signed him 2 weeks ago. Is Bendik Muller, and so that's what we're about. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You should be fine. It goes
Great.
backwards from the way
Okay. Great. Let's get going.
Let's
So
do it.
the way we're going to, having done this in the past, what we're going to do is if the person's here, we're going to hear the song. But if not, then, there's just a lot of songs to look at. So, there are numerous songs here. There's maybe 100 songs. So this is kind of a good real-world scenario where, okay, there's 100 songs. Which song do we start with? And for me, it starts with, okay, let's look at the titles. Like, is there an interesting title that resonates?
Let me look with you. I
Yeah.
like this.
So there was one here.
Ooh, Stupid Happy.
Sure. Is the writer of that one here?
Stupid Happy. There you are. Hi.
All right.
I didn't actually look at a name. What's your first name? Mario. Nice to meet you.
Where was that one?
That was up a bit.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. All right.
Awesome.
Here we go. And generally we're going to do verse chorus, I think.
Perfect.
Right? Okay.
Because that's how I feel today, Bonnie. I'm so excited.
Well, I would also add that I didn't realize this until it came up here, but I sometimes as publishers we recognize other people's names in the credits. In this case, I recognize Emilia Ali, and I know she does good work. So this is this kind of yeah. But sometimes when we're pitching songs, we want to make sure that we just don't put our writer in the file name, but like anyone who has any cachet, we also make sure that their names are in there, and sometimes even first.
Or sometimes I don't send any names for people that don't have imaginations. Because sometimes they want to know who are the writers on this song. Truly, this is a thing. But you have A&Rs that have no imagination. And what happens is they want to know, is there an A+ writer on this? That doesn't matter because if the song is A+, it really, at the end of the day, doesn't matter. But sometimes that's something that I will do.
Yeah.
Is I will send a song with no information just to get someone's immediate like guttural instinct to something. Like I love this or I don't love this. Hi, Stephanie. And that's important to me because I want to know whether somebody loves something or not. Not do they like the names that are
I
on
just
this.
put Max Martin on all.
Yeah,
the
on
songs I
everything,
send,
yeah.
and that's how
Good
they all
idea.
get cut. All right, so here we go.
I wanna take control when I lose it. You know I go heavy with that dumb shit. Link with me tonight, light a blunt, drink a pint, end up in the crib. Any motherfucking thing that you want. I don't want any motherfucking thing that you want. Making love in the ways that you want. Cause if you like, you can ride, let me bike. Get inside, you can find out what it's deep in. And you could bet your ass I'ma lose my mind. And you could bet your ass that your ass is mine. And you could bust down since you stupid fine. You got a nigga tweaking, or you could lip the saps and I sip so wine. Swear you could picture us in a few years time. Yeah, you could bet your ass that your ass is mine. Swear I won't lie, run on why I'm so high.
Girl, you make me stupid happy. I'll fly out to any city just to see you for a minute or forever. You're my favorite. Girl, you make me stupid, stupid. You're the baddest, undisputed. If I have to, I'll play Cupid. Girl, you make me stupid, stupid.
Mario. Hello. That was very good. Are you a writer and a producer? Yeah. And tell me about your involvement on that specific song. Tell us what you did.
So it started with the hook that I logged with the hook and that Amelia singing, and then she tweaked some words, and then my friend Chris was rapping on it, and then I produced it.
Amazing. That sounded very good. And your production skills. Let's talk about that for a second. Where did you learn? Is this all self-taught? Did you have mentors growing up?
I didn't start production until my freshman year here.
Oh my gosh, you're one of them. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was a guitar player, and then I got into EPD, and then
The song it is really good.
Yeah.
I
I totally agree, and actually we met a little earlier, and
he's mine.
oh,
We're
really?
gonna
Well, this is
meet later.
We're gonna be fighting over.
Yeah, I know. I'd like that song. That's available to pitch, or is she staying on? Is that a song that's gonna be released?
I released it.
You released it. Amazing.
Yeah, for me, this is a song that if having heard this, I would definitely be investigating more and checking out other songs too.
Yeah, I would
So,
take a meeting.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right.
We would sit and we would listen to more records and to get a feel for what you want to do, where you want to go, who you've worked with. And that's kind of the way I feel the conversation typically goes. If there's something that we hear that we like, it's just wanting to get as much information as possible and kind of what your style is and get to know you. And, the production value on that sounded really good. We're like behind the speakers. So something I'd want to like bump in my car. That's all I have like the car test. You do that?
I don't have a car.
Oh,
so
well. Never mind then. You're so eco-friendly. Or like, want to throw on my headphones and really listen. But sounded like it slapped from over
Yeah,
here.
no, absolutely. And the other reason to take a meeting often is to hear songs that are in progress or that aren't released yet, and just to get the one up on our. The publishing world is a pretty competitive field for anyone who has a buzz going on. So publishers are really aggressive on finding new talent, probably more so, especially developing talent, probably way more so than labels.
I'd also say that, when it comes to, and this is just for every songwriter in the room, it's, when it comes to development, there are people who are really good at it, and there are people who just don't put enough care and passion into it. Benjamin, you're great at development as well.
Thanks.
I love development. It's fun because it's finding something that you love and you feel passionate about, and like seeing the growth of somebody, because every year you're going to look back at songs you wrote a year ago and say, wow, I've really learned so much in the last year. Because really when you start collaborating, like if you come to LA, you're going to be working with other seasoned songwriters and seasoned producers. So there's little tricks of the trade that you learn, and you kind of develop your own style and like your own writing style in a room. And that's really cool to watch somebody's progression, and then like having your first hit on the radio, or like it's such a fun thing to watch as a publisher. So development's so cool.
Cool.
What do we got next?
I've kind of been earmarking things here
Okay.
as I've been looking through it, but this looked interesting. Is Max Margolis here?
Max Margolis? Max, no.
All right.
He's where? Oh, he's in Nashville. Okay, we'll
Oh,
tell him
okay.
that we miss him.
What about the writer of Miss Mimosa?
There
That's
you are.
Okay, front row.
What's your
Okay.
name? Cameron.
Cameron. Great.
Nice to meet you.
Well, we have. Was thinking this looked an interesting song,
Okay.
and then we also have a song called. We have Miss Mimosa, and then we have Mr. Wolfman.
Oh, two from you,
So-
both from you, right?
No.
Oh, no,
But
okay.
is
Oh,
Mr.
there's another one.
Wolfman person here.
Mr. Wolfman,
Okay.
also not here. Sad. Okay, are you a writer or a producer? You write. Uh-huh. Amazing. So you start melody first, and then, because also as a songwriter, know that it's okay to just be great at one or the other. You don't have to be great at both lyric and melody. You could be great at, it could be phrasing, or it could just be melody, or it could just be lyric. Because there are people that specialize in things. There are people who specialize in lyric writing. There are people who specialize in melody. And, as publishers too, we look for people who specialize. And honestly, there aren't a lot of amazing lyricists. So like, if that's something that you can do, like, really hold on to that and like push that through. But like, you can be, writing melody, writing lyric, or you could be a musician. I signed this guy, Roger Shahayed, who did like Broccoli Drum, Halsey Bad at Love, Miguel Travis Scott Skywalker. He was on Sicko Mode. That's him and Drake in the beginning. Guess what? He's just a piano player. So like, you can take something that you're excellent at and use it to your ability as a songwriter.
Great.
All right, Miss.
Okay, so this is Miss Mimosa.
Awesome.
Is this reality? She's too sweet to be true. She didn't laugh at me, thought she was hella confused. Hair was hella wavy, lips a little too tasty. I know tonight she'll save me, I know tonight she'll save me. Save me from these people filled with disrespect. I know she ain't good for keeping me in check, but nothing's like dancing with her when the sun sets. Nothing's like dancing with her when I'm upset. These women's fire, I ain't gon' lie. I like this model with ocean eyes, or maybe that like tongue green. Always got me by surprise. Oh, every time she arrives, she gives my spotlight. Ooh, Miss Mimosa, pull me closer when I'm around you. I don't feel too sober. Miss Mimosa, pull me closer, give me paradise and closer. Miss Mimosa, pull me closer when I'm around you. I don't feel too sober. Miss Mimosa, pull me closer, give me paradise and closer. Wait a minute.
Sure.
Thank you for that. So I can tell that you write melody first. Did you collaborate with people on that? Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I would say that your melodic sensibilities are good. and you should develop those more. And I think the way to develop those is really to continue collaborating with other writers, because there were definitely some lines in there that sounded really good, because you think about like phrasing and melody and how important they are. I mean, obviously it all has to come together and make sense, but there were bits in there that felt strong. I think it's just about finding maybe those partners to really strengthen the lyric, because when we listen to songs, concept is so important. Concept is, you want to hear something that's unique. Do you agree?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Miss Mimosa concept is a good concept, and it's also why I picked the song out of the other ones, because it's like, oh, this looks interesting. What is this about? And so I thought the chorus was a really great chorus and a great hook. I kind of think that you can beat your verse. I think there's a lot of vocal information in the chorus. The way just how the vocal played out. It might be interesting in the verse, if you're going to take another attempt at it, and I would, is to maybe, play the game of contrast. So if you have a lot of vocal information or with not a lot of space in the chorus, maybe a vocal that has a melody that has some space in it, or maybe some rhythmically different, like if you're using eighth notes in the chorus, maybe use 16th notes in the verse, or maybe whole notes, or something that contrasts it up a little bit. Or something else that I do sometimes with my writers is, if we have, I'm sure you do this too, if we have a song that we think maybe we want to get a rapper on, or that we want to pitch for that world, that we can take the track and the hook and pitch it just like that, and see if someone wants to come in and do the verses. So
I also think another part of, when listening to that, we have to be very aware of production and production elements, because when you're pitching a song, for me, I either want production that rocks out, like it's undeniably amazing, or what we want to do is really strip back on that, right? So like, give me a piano vocal, give me a guitar vocal, like let's really like pare it down to just the song, so we can hear a song. An amazing song will always be an amazing song. No matter if it sits on your hard drive for 5 years, the song isn't going to age. The thing that will age it is the production. So like, we should always be conscious of that and think about that when you're making music, is to try and focus on the song first, because the production will come later. It's like, if you have something that feels exciting and we have an artist that's going to attach it to it, then we can really figure out like, what does that production look like for this artist? And that can always be tweaked. Or if there's, bits of production element that feel good, you can have those in there. If there's like a secondary melody line, that's something that Benjamin talks about a lot with writers and producers, is having that in there. So I think just keeping that at top of mind when you're making music, and when you're as songwriters, if you're looking for publishing deals and looking to get your music with artists, just be conscious of that, because you want it to either be over the top amazing and have some type of production element where if it's the hook, because sometimes the production is the hook, right? Like you'll have a melody in there that's your hook, and it may not be a lyric. But thinking about that, hope that helps.
yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying there. In fact, because your demo it's a good demo, but actually might be a stronger demo if you did what Amanda said, and not focus so much on trying to make it sound like a record, but have just quality, the best vocal you can get. And that vocal may or may not be you. It might be you have access to a whole pool of amazing talent here. The best vocalist, cymbal, guitar, and maybe some snaps or something, and that's your demo. And that will sound actually sometimes 5 times better than the best thing you can do to make it sound current, because you're competing against someone who has $1 million studio, and
Which, you don't have to have $1 million studio to make an amazing song, to have amazing production. You don't have to have that. But I think that's important to also note what you just said about putting other people on your records. Like,
Sure.
You need to get a vocal that fits the song if you're pitching a song. So like, if you're writing a song for Rihanna, find somebody that sounds like Rihanna. If you're pitching a song to someone like Selena Gomez, find someone that sounds like Selena Gomez, because you also have to be thinking and very conscious of, like, is this in somebody's vocal range, right? Like, those are things you have to think about. Like, if you have a song that's super operatic, Selena Gomez can't sing that, right? So we have to be aware of that when we're pitching songs as A&Rs. Like, will this person actually be able to sing this? Like, there's an attitude too that you think about with songs. Like, does it fit this person's attitude, right? So when you're writing records for other people, think about that as well.
Cool. Let's continue on here. Is Gareth T here?
Gareth? Oh, Gareth, no.
What about Zach Seals?
No, Zach. No, Zach.
Okay.
Next.
Okay, well, let's see. Who else is here? What
They
about-
really missed out. You guys got to find them later and say, like, we missed you. Okay. Tell them that we missed them.
What about Jaime Sabag?
Let me see.
Jaime Kabag?
The song is
What does
called
that
Rainy Days. Jimena.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. This is Rainy Days. And
Let's start over.
great, we're going to start. It's beautiful.
I'm in love with the rain. It's a wonderful way to spend the day away from anyone except each other, so we can read ourselves to sleep to the unsteady beat of our sweet and tender hearts. I'm in love with the rain. It's the perfect excuse to be losing myself in your eyes, your deep blue eyes, to let these bones of our own that we carry like stones rest in our home, but together.
Beautiful song. Thank you for sharing that. Tell us about your involvement on that, because I can't see I don't know. Were you also the vocalist on that? And you wrote it by yourself. It's a beautiful record. Classic records are so important. They are. There's a big audience for classic records too, and it also kind of sounds like a song that could work in musical theater as well, which is really, is that something that you want to do? Yeah, because it's very emotive, it's beautiful. And did you arrange it as well? Yeah. Yeah, you guys did a great job. It feels like, there are people out there looking for this type of stuff. I think also when it comes to musical theater, that should be something that if you haven't already thought of, maybe things that you might want to write for that. Because, a lot of the time, especially I think for Benjamin and I, we look for traditionally like top 40, more like pop records, like these aren't the type of songs that we could pitch per se. But I also think there are ways to, use your songwriting ability and whether it's musical theater or working with someone like a Josh Groban or writing original content like that, but doesn't necessarily fit into like the top 40 lane. But who's to say that like top 40 can't change, because it does all the time. But traditionally, it kind of falls into a lane of songs that I wouldn't be able to pitch per se, but it's not to say that there isn't a lane for that.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And this type of song isn't quite my area of expertise, but I can recognize that it's like a well-written, well-executed song, and totally, agree with what you said there. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Great.
you. Beautiful. Can I pick one?
What?
Did you already pick one?
I've just been pulling. I've just been queuing some up stuff here.
Oh,
so
I like this. I like the title here, though.
Okay.
Wait. We got to find this person.
Yeah. Akashita?
Oh,
Is that
not
person
here. Bummer.
Well, how about this is an amazing title. Neil Armstrong Cyclone Jet Armstrong Cannon.
Ice lemonade in the apple snaps. Not in the room. Okay.
Don't
You just wanted to hear it. He was just excited. excited.
I kind of was really super curious.
Okay.
What about Lucas Cando? All right. Okay.
I don't think you can play it from here though.
Let's see.
You have to go into Spotify. I guess try.
Okay. Oh, you submitted Kale is the song, right? Okay.
Well, send him a photo.
Yeah, I don't know how you get
No,
that.
you have to open the actual Spotify.
Okay, let's try that.
Look up Lucas Cando. Lucas, can you tell us a little bit about that? This is your artist project? Okay, cool. And tell us about your process. Are you writing everything? Are you producing? Let's give us a. All right. Awesome. Kale, right? Okay, cool.
We are so young, we've got the road to run. Drag me in like that cigarette you stole from your parents' bed last Friday night. You knew those stars so well, I thought you'd put them there yourself. I broke that sky without you. Tell me every day sweetly, though your blues are just darker than I can see than She said, let's move to London.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I know songs can be so deeply personal sometimes. And also, you guys are all amazing for coming here today and wanting to share in front of your peers, because I know that takes guts too, and it can be a scary thing to like stand in front of your peers and do this. So to me, that what that also says is that you guys are all going for it, which is awesome. That song was great. There's my one note on records like that are to really consider when you're mixing records to get the mix right, because it can kind of mean the difference between like your vocal maybe sitting too far on top or the drums sitting at a certain place. To kind of have a good mix on records, especially when they're being released, can really make a difference. You know, when we hear mixed versus unmixed records, even the stuff that's kind of coming out on the radio, truly can make, like, you can have something that's really buried in the mix where you're like, oh no, I want to hear that. I want to hear more of that. And just making sure that everything is blended kind of seamlessly, I think is really important. And that was kind of my one note on a song like that, because it's, you know, it's obviously this is your artist project. This is something that's personal to you, and it's going to, this is what represents you. So I think that's the one thing that you should focus on as well, because it's cool, because it's like ambient and it's got that kind of vibe to it. And I would say mix, like consider that. Like listen to other artists that you respect that are kind of in your same lane, and pay attention to those things. Pay attention to a mix. Because when it's demos and stuff like that, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, I mean, a lot of the times, if we are getting demos, there's a good chance though, if it's produced up, that somebody's taken the time to like get it pretty close to where you'd want it to be as a mix. But when you're releasing as an artist, to think about that, because I'm telling you, is there a class? Do they teach mixing here? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Maybe talk to students in that class. No, but but find a mixer. Find somebody that is focused on that, and kind of work with them, because you'll find the difference between something like it could be the same exact song, but with a mix can really kind of push it over the edge.
And actually, to your point, one thing that I wish I would have done more of when I was here is to network more, because this is the graduating class, depending on even if you're the first semester or eighth semester, the graduating class of who the next people and group of people are making these records. So if I would have done things differently, I would have definitely networked a lot more. But I liked the song a lot. It was kind of in a Tom Yorkish kind of area for me, and I liked it. And so I have just a question in general, since you're releasing these records, like, how are you? I know that anyone can now pretty much get on the DSPs and release music. So was there a strategy in releasing the music, or do you just put it out there? Or because I have a couple bullet point tips of some services to use that might be helpful. Cool. Yeah. Does anyone here know Submit Hub? Okay, everyone seems to be pretty up on that, but that's a service that I use. I mean, in fact, I had a release that came out today on my own label from MXMS called Death Row, and for every release that we put out, sometimes we have a publicist, sometimes we don't. We always, no matter what, use Submit Hub for every release. And once we were like, you know what, we're throwing our money out the window with these PR people. Let's just release this and we'll just do Submit Hub. We spent like $150, and the song went to like a #1 on Hype Machine and has like 2 million streams on Spotify and stuff. And it's Submit Hub is like our go-to. There's also one called, most people don't know about yet, I think it's really amazing, called Fluence.io, and I'm on there. It's still a little bit of a work in progress, but it's the co-founder of the guy who started a company called Topspin with Ian Rogers a while back. He's now one of the head guys at Pandora, and this is his like side project he's been working on for 6 or 7 years. And basically, instead of paying a PR people or person like $1,000 to $3,000 a month to service your record around, and maybe it'll get listened to, you can find someone like from KCRW who's on this platform, and you just pay them their hourly rate to listen to the song, and they'll give you some feedback. Their rate, like my rate, is like $200 or $250 an hour, but you're only paying for like 5 minutes of my time to hear your song, so it costs like $12 to submit something. So but sounds good. I think that's the other dilemma I'm finding with artists and writers and creative people is, okay, you have this great music, and now how do I break through and get it discovered amongst the literally 50,000 releases per day that's coming out?
I think it's important to also consider your story.
Sure.
Right? Like a story is so important, and it will play into your role as a songwriter or an artist, and keep that in mind as well when you're presenting yourself as a songwriter or an artist to a publisher or to a label. Like, this is my story. You guys already have a leg up on people going to Berkeley, and that's huge. That's part of your story. You came to Berkeley, and guess what that means? It means that you are a part of excellence, because the school there's quality control. So that's huge. When you go into any room, like, that's your calling card right away. Like, I went to Berkeley. And immediately someone will know, like, you have what it takes to get into Berkeley, so like, I should listen, I should pay attention, right? So remember that too. Like, I went to Berkeley. That's awesome. and it means something to a lot of people. It really does. And there's a huge, there's a ton of alumni in Los Angeles, ton of alumni in New York, and we really all stick together. And we try and support each other. I don't know if that's a reason why you wanted to hire me, but maybe it was part of it. You saw Berkeley on my resume and thought, oh, I should meet with this girl because you went to Berkeley. I've brought on people.
And you have a new saying, we understand, and the saying is, that's huge.
Huge. That's huge or huge.
Benjamin is also known for playing YouTube videos. We used to be in video in meetings, and he'd be like, I've got the perfect video for this moment.
Well, you had this like, you're like, that's huge. You know, it's like,
it's huge.
That's Paris Hilton's
It is.
old.
But it is so great to have, and honestly, the community, the Berkeley community is so important, and how he keeps talking about like talk to other departments, like do that, talk to people.
Also, Daniel Glass, who has Glass Note Records, is kind of known for saying that he won't hire anyone who doesn't have a college graduate degree.
I will.
Okay. But because
True.
at least he knows that someone stuck with something for 4 years and was able to finish something. But no, having a Berkeley thing, having that is like, oh, I remember my first day at this college, I was like, what did I get myself into? I am so screwed. Like, but you know.
I mean, you work this hard to get here, so
Sure.
that means that you're onto something.
Right. Okay, so is Carson Schmidt here?
Carson? No? Okay.
How about Lily?
Deconstruct.
All right.
Lily, hi.
Do you like burritos? I knew you did.
There's a picture of a burrito.
Private. It's an inside joke.
All right. Let's do it. Hit it, DJ. Guys, music is fun. We should all be having fun.
I'll teach you how to drive. You'll break too hard, we'll laugh it off. We're way too high to care where we are. Street signs are blur. We took a test to fall in love online when we were bored and stoned, but I think we already were. I think we already were. Let's deconstruct the ways we love. People say we're a bit too much. Deconstruct the ways we love. Let's deconstruct the ways we love. People say we're a bit too much. Deconstruct the ways we love, 'cause too much is just enough. Just enough, yeah. Too much is just enough, yeah. Just enough, yeah. Too much is just enough, yeah. Let's stay in tonight.
Benjamin's taking a photo because it's really good. Hey, is that a demo? Yeah. Okay, that's an example of a great demo for everybody in the room. That's an example of a really great demo. Like, that is an example of a song that I would send to a label. I would send to an artist. The vocal is amazing. And it's your vocal? Oh, it's not your vocal, but good job on finding somebody who had a great vocal. Oh, great.
Salem Strikes Again.
There you go. So you see, a great vocal can mean the difference between a song being able to be pitched and a song not being able to be pitched. But that is a great example of a really, really great demo that I would pitch.
Yeah, that's a song that would intrigue me to hear more, and I took a little photo of the link just to revisit and maybe
Melodies were great.
Yeah.
Vocal delivery
Vocals
was
sounded
great.
Yeah.
I for me, first listen on a song is melody, and I'm like, wah, 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 like that's what I'm hearing for lyric. So I'd have to look back or listen through one more time for lyric because it's equally as important. I typically listen to a song maybe like 3 or 4 times to gather my thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Great.
But
Nice.
that was great. Thank you.
Nice work.
Wonderful.
Yeah. How about the Zugos?
Nope.
Okay. What about Ashna? A song called Wasted?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
What about Carson Schmidt?
We did look for Carson. He's
Oh, we did? Okay.
Carson's not here.
Okay. What about... Do you want to start taking some... Go for it.
about Not Feeling You? Is Mia Thornton here? Maya? Oh, Maya. Darn it. I also would like to hear Better Alone Than With You. Chloe? No. Darn. How about You Got Me? Jade, the producer? Are you kidding? Okay. Ooh, Call Me When You're High. Sachi? Yeah. Yes, you're here. Great. Hi. Nice to see you. Thanks for showing up.
You know what? Sometimes showing up is half the battle.
It's true.
Yeah. Oh, what's going on here?
I always see you blowing up my phone, but only late at night and when you're all alone. Part of me would answer, but I know the reason that you call is cause you're sad and stoned. The party ends, the attention's over. Try to impress, but it's me who's sober. This time I'd rather be here on my own. You only call me when you're high, but boys just don't have the time for you. Don't get me wrong, you're looking nice, but I can take another line from you. I can see you're hung up, so hang up, won't answer my phone. Don't leave a message when you hear the tone. You only call me when you're high, but boys just don't have the time for you.
Awesome. It's a really good demo. It's good, and there are ways we can make it great. Because those melodies, that is sick. Like those are really great melodies. Like that those are things that people don't expect all the time, right? So they're little earworms that will kind of like stick with you. I think a way to make this even better, to go from good to great, is to get another vocalist to go on that. Because like those are the types of records that could go to kind of like the younger, kind of more sassy artists. You know, whether it's like Sabrina Carpenter, the B Millers, like, you know what I mean? Like the kind of younger girls who have got something to say. But having a vocal on it that really makes it pop could make that song like go further. I think that like the vocal is the only thing that's gonna really hit. It's not bad by any means. No, and that's great. And honestly, like being able to do, was that your vocal on it? And being able to do that is huge because you're giving somebody a guideline. Like you know what you want people to do and what you want them to sound like, but getting that vocal where, again, it's like talking about having a vocal that is directed towards somebody is important. Or something, and it can also just be like a general pop vocal. Like there are people who that's their job. They're demo vocalists. And maybe there's people here at Berkeley, I'm sure there are people who are really good at, you know, wanting to put their vocal on something because they can make a living off of that. But find those people because the song is really good. And that I like that. Like that melody is still sticking with me. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, let's go.
Looking back, I know that we had fun, but I was feeling desperate, now I'm feeling done. Every night felt like a hit and run. The party ends, the attention's over. Hard to impress, cause it's me who's sober. I'm leaving, but I thought I'd let you know. You only call me when you're high, but boys just don't have the time for you. Don't get me wrong, you're looking nice, but I can take another line from you. I can see you're hung up, so hang up, won't answer my phone. Don't leave a message when you hear the tone. You only call me when you're high, but boys just don't have the time for you.
I had one thing to add to this song, and that is very nice. and this may apply to a lot of other songs we hear today or previously. And I have this thing that I call second melody theory, which is also maybe referred to here as secondary melodies. But my working hypothesis for what makes a hit song is a locked-in melodic rhythm, because I do believe that a hit chorus or hit song is not a hit melody; it's a hit rhythm first, and plus a second melody, plus a unique concept or lyric equals a hit song. Usually those things are running in all those areas, and Bad Guy is actually a really good example of all those things working together. Yeah. So
the other melody come in, right?
Right. No, you're exactly right. So that was actually the example I was going to bring up because I believe that the brain loves to hear more than one melody at the same time. Subconsciously, vocally, maybe in your car, singing along with Billy, but your brain subconsciously is singing that other melody. And in a lot of great songs, and probably your favorite songs, if you were to do this as an exercise, you go back and listen to your favorite songs of all time or what's on the radio, and you'll probably find that there is a copyrightable second melody. Like, no one can use that bass line without, or that synth part, that drop part after, without getting sued. You know, it's a copyrightable. So when you hear, and it identifies the song outside of the actual vocal. So if you hear the introduction to Sweet Dreams Are Made of This by the Eurythmics, you don't need to hear Annie Lennox to know that that's Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. So getting back to this song is that I think that one thing you can be looking at is does your song have a second melody, and can you create it? So you have chords. So instead of chord and top line, you can keep your chords, but can you create a figure around those chords so that becomes a second melody, and then you delete the chords. Then it may be a bass line that outlines those chords. It might be an arpeggiation. It might be a guitar riff, but you still have the chords. It's just now a melody instead of just chord, 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 and then you double the infection layer of and the virus catches on. Yeah, and then the zombie apocalypse.
Oh well, I know you know where to go.
Yes, I do.
There's a zombie apocalypse. Let's see. Zach, you made it. Zach, what's your last name? Zach Seals, you made it. I'm so happy. What is I'm trying to find here. I don't know. Open up on Spotify. One sec. Zach, tell us about yourself. This is your artist project. Oh, amazing. Very exciting. Congrats. Okay, this is Existential Crisis. And you produced, wrote? Oh, hey. Amazing.
Oh,
love that.
Can I add something here too?
Yes.
And this is a little fine detail,
Sure.
but one thing that caught my eye is sometimes if you take care to even think about how you're going to stylize a song or your artist name, like all caps, all small caps. In this case, there's a lot of dollar signs in the song title. And it's like, oh, okay, this looks interesting. This stands out.
Yeah.
So that's.
Yeah, definitely. Gives it a little pop. Okay. Existential Crisis.
Oh, honey, shut up, niggas. Don't come bitch.
Bitch, who are you? What do you stand for? Will you be left in your hometown? Were you an outcast? It takes a village to raise you up and stomp you out. Are you a madman, a modern marvel? Bitch, do you have the guts to be what you aspire? What keeps you up? What makes you smile inside your dreams?
If I die, don't you cry for me. No, don't you cry for me. Don't you cry for me. If I die, don't you cry for me. No, don't you cry for me. Don't you cry for me. When I die, don't you cry for me. No, don't you cry for me. Don't you cry for me. When I die, don't you cry for me. No, don't you cry for me. I will cry for me.
Pills and potions have lost their magic.
Sick. Thanks for sharing. It sounded like you guys had a lot of fun making that. The production is awesome. Like, it gets you fired up. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. I mean, it sounds like you guys have a really nice dynamic in a room. And I think that's something we should also talk about, because when you trust somebody and you're vulnerable enough to go in a room and do what you just did, right? Like, there has to be that trust there, because you want to, like, scream at the top of your lungs in a booth and, like, feel comfortable doing that. So you can tell that, like, you guys had a good relationship and that you were vulnerable enough to go do that, which is huge. And it's really unique. The song is really unique. And it also, that's something that I feel would be great for sync. Like, you could hear that in, like, a movie trailer or in a movie about, like, I don't know, the mob. I don't know. Like, it has that energy, you know, kind of like Run the Jewels has that energy that, like, gets you fucking ready to go, right? Which is fun. And, like, the build too, it was unexpected too, because, like, my ear didn't know where it was going to take. That's why I was like, I want to listen to 2 minutes of this song, because I wanted to know where it was going, right? And those are always fun, because it's just not, it's like goes against the grain of what people are doing.
Yeah, to your point on sync, like, there are songs that supervisors continually need to replace, and, like, they kind of had a Black Skinhead Kanye kind of thing in there, and that song gets temped in a lot, but then it comes time to clearing that song, and it's like, oh, we can't afford it, or it's hard to clear. So, like, that, I agree with the sync side of things. And that's what I'm talking about with, like, multiple melodies at the same time. Like, at one point, there's probably, like, 3 melodies going on at the same time. It's like, it's also why I love, like, Trent Reznor, and he's just so multi-layered. And, like, this song for me was all about standing out and being risky and taking some risk and doing some uncommon things. And even the chord progression is uncommon. It went in some areas and some sections that were not obvious, and I really loved it. So
it was cool.
So
Very
this
cool.
was Zach. This was you, and then your producer.
The two of
hi.
you.
And your name is
Davin with a
Got it.
D. Davin Kingston. Up next. Way to go, guys. That was great. Keep working together. Yeah, I mean, the thing is there are times. Well, really, I preach this a lot when I'm putting people together in a room, or I'm someone has just moved to LA and they're like, what should I do? Like, they've got the talent, but like, what should I do? I'm like, find your people. Find the people that you want to surround yourself with, that you want to continue working with, because you may not write your best song on day one. The chances of that are so slim. That's lightning in a bottle, and it is rare, right? It's like day 8, day 20, day 30, where like you get into the good shit. Like when you really like start clicking, and it's like, keep with those people. Like, surround yourself with those people, because that's where you're gonna write the stuff that feels the most authentic to you. So,
cool,
amazing.
I'm up here just taking notes on who I want to follow next and stuff. So.
He's making money moves.
I have to be one.
Maya, you made it. Okay, Maya. We're happy that you're here. Why isn't this letting-
Command F. No, there it is. How do you spell Maya?
It's M-I-Y-A. Oh, M-Y-I-A. Here we go. Maya Thornton, right? Not feeling you? Okay, cool. You produced, wrote. Oh, Maya. She's a triple, quadruple threat. She's got it all. Okay. This is Not Feeling You.
Not no more. No, you don't mean a thing to me no more. I don't want ya, that's for sure. No, you ain't gotta leave, but what you waiting for? I just wanna be right here on my own, no one here. I just want the coast clear, don't want nobody but me. I just want you to understand that. Let me be the one to tell you that I ain't feeling you no more. I ain't feeling you no more. I can sit back, relax, kick my feet up. I ain't gotta worry about how I'ma keep you. I ain't feeling you no more. I ain't feeling you no more. I realize that I could never please you. I won't take it back. I don't need you. I ain't feeling you, you ain't feeling me. So what are we still doing this for?
Nice.
No, I think that was super solid, for sure. Oops.
He's got everybody queued up on his phone. That is so impressive that you did everything. Because can I tell you what? It's so rare that you get people that do 100% of their records. And and honestly, as a publisher, it's a publisher's dream to have somebody who does 100% of their records. You're going to be making more money. But it's also, there's just a level of talent that exists there that we don't see every day, where you can do it all, where you don't need anybody else, right? I mean, a collaboration is incredible and amazing and necessary in most instances, but I think, you know, there's also something to be said about somebody who can sit and create and deliver a record completely finished on their own. Because you can do it from anywhere. You can do it from your home. You can do it from your bedroom. You can do it, like, you don't need a big studio. And if you can play instruments, if you can do all those things, like, amazing. It's such a skill. So you're very lucky to possess that. And, you know, something I'm jealous of. That's awesome. And the song is great. The production is sick. You sound great. Have you released music yet? I was just about to ask you, did you make this?
No, I remember that.
I was just about to ask you if you made that. I was like, oh shit, did you make that too? Because it looks good. The purple, it looks really good. Because that's also important, because those are the things that also will catch somebody's eye, of like something looking professional. Good job, Ben.
I just remember it didn't match or something, or So
it looks great. It really does. You did a great job. I love, like, everything is purple. It looks really good. It fits. Yeah, it fits. Well done. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned a word finished, and this sounds like a finished record.
Yeah.
It just sounds ready to go, ready to be synced, ready to be ingested, put on playlists and all that stuff. So that's the song that I would hear. I would follow the person, which I'm going to be doing, and digging into more.
Great.
So good work.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Sean Feth, Wasted Nights. Sean? No, okay. Let's look at the song Stay Calm. Nacho La Raza? Okay, but you're on it, so let's do it. Right? What's your name? Amazing. Nice to meet you. I'm glad you showed up. So tell us about the creation of the song. Another truth. And Nacho singing on it. Okay, awesome. So just the two of you. Friendship. Love that. Okay. This is Stay Calm.
Wake up, there's red cups everywhere I go. I found a stranger sleeping on my bedroom floor. I can't remember, man, she's when in my throat. I got messages, missed calls, alerts on my phone. I just pray that I didn't do anything wrong. Oh my God, I'm trying to stay calm on Friday night, but it gets wild and there's no light. See the moon in your golden eyes, and I don't care about what happens next as long as you stay here. I need you to stay with me as long as you stay here. Well, I don't care about what happens next if you stay here.
Guys, Berkeley bringing the heat. I am
Songs
so
are really
impressed
good.
by everybody today. That's like a Blink 182, Black Bear like type vibe, which is really cool. It like the lyric and the melody, everything is fitting well. Like the production sounds great. I would want to listen to the rest of the song like at some point to hear where like we go in the bridge and that type of stuff, because we're gonna need a moment in that song, right? That like hits. It's there. Fuck, it's there. Okay, we can listen to it. Can we listen? I want to listen to it. Let's listen.
We'll be here until the morning, and I'm trying to stay calm on Friday night, but it gets wild and there's no light. See the moon in your golden eyes, and I don't care about what happens next as long as you stay here. I need you to stay with me as long as you stay here. Well, I don't care about what happens next if you stay here. I'm trying to stay calm on Friday night, but it gets wild and there's no light. See the moon in your golden eyes, and I don't care about what happens next as long as you stay here. I need you to stay with me as long as you stay here. Well, I don't care about what happens next if you stay here.
Oh, I also love a good ad break. Woo! Good time. That's sick. Because it's also like a record you could hear someone like loud doing too. If it, because it does. I like the organic feel of it, like hearing like a live drum and stuff like that. But it can also like move a little bit left or like kind of down the middle pop too, and work for artists like Lauv. It's really good.
I wouldn't mind hearing, having you maybe explore how to sound a little bit faster. Maybe it sounds a little draggy. Maybe
like a few BPMs.
Maybe, yeah. Just give it a little bit of edge, or not. It might be fine as is. The other thing I've my experience of the song was in a way that like you have these amazing stereo systems here, and you have a tweeter, a mid, and the woofer, and if you listening to a stereo system where one of those is not working, the mids aren't working, then it's like, and then you go into another room and it's like the speakers are working. You're like, oh, I want to listen to these speakers because, so sometimes songs can be like that. At least how I experience songs with energy and sonic frequencies. So my feeling was that I felt that in the chorus, I felt you could activate the high end, some frequencies up there. Maybe it's a synth line, or like there's another hook.
Make it more exciting.
Something that's in like another that just activates like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the chorus, and here's an extra juicy little part for you. And I like maybe I don't know if this is legitimate, but the Cars, since we're in Boston, the Cars came to mind. Like sometimes I think they come up with like these great synth lines in the choruses and stuff like that, and it might be worth just seeing what can overlay in that area. I don't know if it's that or maybe it's another counter melody of some sort or a vocal, but I've felt something needed, like the energy needed to pop a little bit there somehow.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. But overall, it's a really solid start. I think with the right tweaks, you can definitely take it all the way.
Oh, and by the way, this might be a good time just to say that like the people who I see really who win and have careers, they're okay. There's a great blog post if you want to look it up by a guy named Seth Godin, and the blog post is called "Hardly Worth the Effort," and it's all about how like getting your golf score from this area to this score is pretty easy, but getting it like to last, the hard part is doing the last 10% or the last 5%, and his whole thing is that what you get paid for is that last 5% or the last 1%, because everyone else can do the 90%, and it's up to you to overturn these stones. And that's why, like, if you look at Max Martin, or Dr. Luke is also notorious for this, and other producers, is like just overturning these stones until you get this pop perfection. And I also have a blog, songwriting blog. It's just my name, BenjaminGroff.com. There's some really great juicy articles there, I believe. And there's one called the Max Martin Mindset, which is all about that. And so sometimes it's very exciting to go to the next song and the next song, but really the juicy stuff is like, sometimes it's a drag, but like the powerful stuff is refining the gems and the gold that you have. And then because you're almost like, songs are like currency, and you just need to like convert it into dollars. And that's one thing I've learned along the way too.
Okay, Kiki, sick of today? No? Okay. What about Tammy Gonzalez? Call me back. Yeah, girl. Okay, call me back. Tammy, tell us about this. Tell us about what you've done here, your process. Got it. So you wrote the song 100% yourself. You had your friend Michael produce it, and this is the two of you. Awesome. All right, this is Call Me Back. This is Tammy.
Tell me that you miss me. It's been too long since we've talked. Drunk on beer and whiskey. Keep talking about that girl you're always on and off. Whispered conversations get drowned out in the morning. I wish that I could call you mine. Don't tell me that you need me, baby. Don't tell me that you'll call me back. 'Cause when you turn around and leave me hanging, I know you'll never call me back.
Dang. Tammy. Tammy, that's excellent. That's very good. What the heck is right? Everybody go back, go talk to Tammy. What you guys have all learned is there's a lot of talented people here that you didn't even know. You may know Tammy. You may know some of the other people they're killing it. Talk to them. Seriously. Write with them. Get to know them. That's a really great song. You're the artist, right? You're an artist as well? Or is that... You don't want to be an artist, you just want to be a songwriter. amazing though that you have the vocal to be able to do that, because those are songs that we can pitch too. Like that's. It seems like you'd be good in the room with like Kalani. You'd be good in the room with, you know, you come out to LA, we'll put you in some sessions. So, Benjamin's taking the photo. Come talk to me after. But really though, you know, I'm sure you have many songs. But to hear one thing, I mean, obviously to play a song like that and to pick that out of the bunch, I mean, it's smart to pick the thing that you love. It says, this is from 20 days ago. Did you just write this? Yeah. 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 Yeah, well, is he also at Berkeley, Michael? Yeah, he's great too. MKX. Benjamin's gonna write that down, I bet you. Yes. That's great because you guys you have some chemistry there. Like it's working, like the style works together. The song is really great. I think, you know, lyrically speaking, you know, the Call Me Back is always something that people want to hear because we all feel it. We've had those people that just don't call you back. And our people, not me, you maybe. No, Benjamin calls you back. But really though, I mean, it was a great song. I think fully I would like to, you know, it's something I'll listen through the rest of the song, or we can listen through that later too. But clearly you have got something right, because you feel something when you listen to a song like that. Like it definitely pulls out an emotion. And those are the songs you want to find as A&Rs to be able to pitch too. Like when there's a certain emotion that will maybe fit an artist who's going through something similar, right? Because that's what we're always trying to do is like we want to know the artist and like what are they going through, what do they want to say, because we're constantly thinking about will this person say this? Will this person? Because what I always tell people, I'm like, if you're an artist and you're writing a song, or you take a song that like your label thinks is amazing but you don't love, it could become your biggest song, and then in 40 years you're still singing that song like, fuck, I still got to sing this song, like this is like it will kill you forever. So you want to relate to it if you're an artist, right? But it's nice when you have that emotion because someone will stick to that, like that'll affect them in a certain way and they'll want to kind of add their like flavor to it. So
yeah. What I liked about the song and the production, I liked everything you said for sure. But when the chorus arrived, it said, "This is the chorus." Yeah. You know Krista. Do you know Krista Russo from Powers? Okay.
Tell her that it's your birthday.
Yes, exactly. So Krista Russo is an artist in Powers. Was one of the later signings I did at Kobalt. But once I said, Chris, I love your choruses. They're really like say this is the chorus, and she's like, yeah, I write choruses that slap you in the face. Yeah. And
that's what you want.
Yeah,
really.
Exactly. It's like don't be shy. I think sometimes people seem to be shy about that. Yeah.
But like there's the non-chorus chorus.
Yeah. Well, which
also can work. I like a big pop chorus myself. I mean, that's why I love Max.
Every once in a while, there's this trend where like let's do the anti-chorus. I'm like, no. But yeah.
Awesome. Good work, Tammy.
Yeah.
I can see you have a lot of support from people in the room too, so clearly they know your name, which is always great because you build a community around you, which is awesome. Let's look at Harry Egan. Scared to be alone? Hi, Harry. Nice to see you. I'm good at this. Okay, this is called. Okay, wait, Harry, tell us about, because this is also with Will Guild.
Yeah, with my buddy Will Guild. Yeah, he used to go to Berkeley, and he lives in LA now. So the last week of summer, I went to LA for 2 days, and me and him and his buddy Warren, we basically spent 2 nights from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. making a song.
That's when the magic happens. Yeah. It's like late night. So it was the three of you. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Also, don't be scared to say like I work. Songs can have one person, two people, three people. There are songs that have 30 people on them, and I always just. You have one of those.
He has less than 1% of the song.
But you know what? Those songs too.
And it's a Kanye song.
Yeah. Well, listen, I got Roger on sicko mode, and there's literally 30 people on that. But can I tell you what? Those types of records become calling cards, though. Again, it's like, I was telling you, like, run with Berkeley. Like, run with that as well. Like, hey, I was on this record. No, I don't care what you did, but it's like you were part of it. And people will take notice to that. But that's awesome. So it's the three of you. Okay, cool. You're the singer. Okay, great. And are you wanting to be an artist or just write for other people? Artist. Okay, cool.
I'm here again without you. Don't know what to say, but I wanna talk. I missed my chance to know you. I lost my mind when I lost my heart. Dark nights, I was your nighttime high. 'Cause we were just a summer vibe. If it's really over, I won't get much closer. Wish that we could take back time. Baby, would you change your mind? You only need me in a lonely light. I'm falling apart, and it's always dark.
Unexpected. Great.
I'm scared to be alone. I'm scared to be alone. I'm scared to be alone. I'm wandering without you. I drive
Who's that?
the streets until I'm fine.
That's Will too? Oh, Will sings too. Let's listen to a little bit of Will.
Can't get it this way tonight, I swear. We'll keep this going till the morning air. If there's a problem, baby, I'm your man. And don't act like you're so unaware. Take me there. If you got issues, baby, we can share. We'll light it up until we both don't care. I know you're scared, but we don't have to be alone.
I love that bit right there. The guitar bit, like that's honestly like that's the hook that pulls people in. Is that when that guitar starts? That's seriously that's what's gonna pull people into the song. Yeah, great job. There are parts of the song though that feel a bit disconnected. Like it turns into like a house record, or like are you having more of like the four on the floor? Like
I like that.
But
Yeah.
for me, it was also bits that I felt maybe were like a mix thing too. Like you heard the synths that were in the chorus that I felt like I wanted them to like even out a bit more. But no, go ahead. Oh, amazing! No, it's a really great demo. Yeah. What I don't think you need to do, though, is have two singers on it. You can just have one singer on that record. Because if you're not doing, like, a male-female duet, to me, there's no reason to really have two males on it. But although I wasn't paying as close attention to the lyric. I don't know if it was, like, a conversation between two people, and maybe that was the reason why. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I like that those unexpected parts too. And I was just at Amsterdam Dance Event, ADE, the previous week, and have heard thousands of like electronic songs. So it's the what you want to be doing today and in the future is standing out and doing things a little bit differently and taking some risks and doing some uncommon things. So yeah.
I feel like it's definitely a song. Like if I were to hear this record, I would send this. Knock out my teeth. I would send this to DJs that I work with and they would probably ask for the stems on this and like pull bits out of it that they love. Like they'd probably pull out the guitar bit, they'd pull out the melody, the lyric, and those types of things, and like little bits of production to kind of work around and develop. But it's a really solid demo to send.
Or they would add a kick.
Yeah.
And then say,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Exactly.
Yeah,
That's also
I did the whole thing.
something that they do sometimes. But like I said, I think putting one vocal on it too, because there's just no reason to have two on there. It's not really like a bad thing, but it's just not necessary, I suppose. Unless, like I said, it's intentional to have a conversation, you know? And it's also, because obviously you both can sing and you both sound great. So it's just like picking the person you feel is able to give the song what the song needs. Does that make sense? Yeah. But it's great. And I like the title, Scared to Be Alone is really good.
I have a quick little funny story, which actually could be like $1 million little tip. Is I used to work with a writer-producer named Rick Knowles, who's a Grammy Award-winning producer, and he's basically he tells me he's like, I'm retired except writing with Lana Del Rey, and so he just that's all he wants to write with, and so but back in the day he wrote with this guy named Greg Alexander, who is part of the New Radicals, and they just wrote hit after hit after hit after hit, and Rick told me once that their best songs that they wrote, it was like a long day, grueling writing process, the two of them slaving over like lyrics and fine tuning, and like it's 2 o'clock in the morning, they're dead tired, and Rick would say, okay, we're not going to stop. He would start his stopwatch, and we got to write a song in 5 minutes, like a new song, and those were some of their biggest hits, just were written in that 5 or 10 minutes, where they had a time restriction, the dead tired, and I don't know, maybe in your next session when you're ready to call it quits, it might be something fun to try.
You push through, yeah.
It's just like, we're going to write a song in 7 minutes.
Like what comes to your mind, and like the weirder the better. Sometimes you want to think about those concepts that are just so weird and kind of refine them and pull out like the key words and phrases that can make something really, really unique and unexpected. But yeah, I love that type of stuff. It's like where you really kind of challenge yourself to do something that you wouldn't normally do, or to say something you wouldn't normally say, and kind of getting out of your comfort zone by giving yourself 5 minutes. You've always been good at that, though. You always we talked about this earlier about giving people different tasks to get themselves out of, like you would have that deck of cards too, where it's like, you know, you would give people like, go write about a Ziploc bag today. I don't know, like, you know, write a love song to a microphone, you know, and like, what does that mean? What are you saying to something, you know, random? Which I think it always inspired people, though. It was like he would set up a session, and I learned that from you, though. You'd set up a session, you'd be like, go write about
I actually do have a Ziploc
this
bag.
today. You have a Ziploc bag? Who's going to write the song?
But there is something called oblique strategies. I don't know if anyone knows about oblique strategies. You do? Okay. So this oblique strategies was a deck of cards that was created by David Bowie and Brian Eno. And there was some other person who's not as famous, I think, also Peter Schmidt. And so basically it was a stack of cards. Like, imagine taking 4 decks of playing cards and putting it all in one big thing. And then what they would do is, correct me if I'm wrong, Bonnie, but they would just pick out a card and it'd be something like, be subtle. And then they would like, okay, this is what we have to do. And
yeah. Right.
And so I think sometimes they would write a song that way, or if they were stuck, they might pick out a card and think like mountains or something. It's like these obtuse kind of things, and
but it pushes you a bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bonnie, question: Are we doing questions today? Are we going all the way? Just excuse me. Keep going. They want us to keep going. What? What's your name? Daniela? Daniela, it's on. You're on next. Of course.
You know what we should do?
Listen, you took the initiative. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, so.
That might be an easier way to do
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Just see who's here.
Daniela Spadini? You got it. Okay, Daniela, tell us about what we're about to listen to. Uh-huh. Amazing. So this is all you on this? Everything is just me. Great. And you're singing? Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Here we go. This is What You Need.
Flicker on and not scared of you, always getting in the way of what I'm trying to do. It's killing me, just as you breathe. I know I'll cry when I get home, but now I hold it in. Call me in love with control, I'm the fan club president. I wish you weren't here, I can't think clear. I'm falling apart, don't know if you want it that way. If that's what you want, then baby I got what you need. I'm falling apart, you know that you made me this way. If that's what you want, then baby I'm just what you need.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that. I think for my first thought after listening to that is that you have really great lyrics and like your lyrical instincts are there. And like if you took the lyrics of this song and wrote them on paper, like they're going to be really amazing. And I think when it comes to song structure and melody, like it could use some work because there's a lot of open space too. Like before the chorus hit, there was a lot of like dead space that wasn't necessary, you know? And I think melodically speaking, there are ways to express what you have to say a little bit better so we feel more emotion from it. Call what you need. And I think that coupled with amazing lyrics, because I was talking about earlier how you can be better at one than the other and like to really stick about, because lyrics are such a special thing. And at the end of the day, like we're going to be paying very close attention to lyrics because we have to have it all: lyric, melody, production. At the end of the day, when you want a great song, you have to have everything. But I think specifically speaking to this song, the lyrics were great, but the melody could use some work. And I think through collaboration with people, like finding somebody who's great with melody is going to help a lot in the process. And kind of the song structure. So just kind of moving bits around will help.
I really like your voice. I think your voice sounds great. And for me, this was more of a lean back type song rather than like lean in. What?
She said you should see me go hard.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's
yeah,
what I thought
like
she
like
said.
like she's got songs.
But like.
Yeah. No, listen. Hey, come on.
No.
Don't be sorry. This is you.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
And that was a compliment
Yeah.
because it's like, you know, like in a way, like Nora Jones isn't
Yeah.
like a lean it. Like this would be music I would put on Sunday afternoon to have as an atmosphere.
Lean back is a good thing, by the way. It's more like this is something I put on to like relax to kind of, you know, cook to and like there's a massive fan base for lean back records. It's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah.
But she goes hard too.
You're right. That's we gotta.
Which is good.
Yes.
It's nice that you can do both. You what? You're here to learn. Same. We're all learning. Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Anybody else have? Oh, okay. How did we miss all these people? I don't understand. There's somebody like really waving their hand. Like, hold on. Like, but there was right there. You. Yeah. You. Yep. You. Yep. You. Yep. What's your name? How do you spell your name? More than a minute. Okay, got it. Julia Fischler, got it. Awesome. Oh, and you? Yeah. Aha! You found your partner. And who produced it? And you produced it? Oh, this was a 3-for-1. I like that. Okay, so there were 3 or 4 of you on it? Awesome. Okay, cool. So this is more than a minute. And wait, is this an artist name or what's Juju? Oh, okay, got it. Oh, wait, so who's singing on this one? I'm sorry. Okay, you're singing. Got it. More than a minute.
take a second just to pass you by. That's all it takes for me to lose my mind. You used to light me up, set me on fire. Now there's just an empty space that I can't hide. Cause you're living it up, you go to town with no regrets, no shame. You're staying out, you fuck around like you forgot my name. Tell me how you living life like all fun and games. Teach me to do the same, cause I need more than a minute, or more than a minute, or more than a minute just to pass the time. I need more than a minute, more just to quit it, or more than a minute, get you out my mind. It'll only take a second for my heart to break.
Sick. That's really good. The verses are really good. The verses like make me feel like Anne-Marie vibes. Like they've got attitude, which is great. I think the chorus you can like do something different that elevates it. I like the concept of more than a minute, but compared to the verses, go ahead. Oh, okay. This, by the way, I think the way that it was bounced, it's just really low, so and we can't go higher, unfortunately, or else I would bump it, because I like my music loud.
But you care, I guess that's my mistake, cause I'm the only one who's laying wide awake. Cause you're living it up, you go to town, your heart stays untouched. You're staying out, you fuck around, can't never get enough. Tell me how you living life like all fun and games. Teach me to do the same, cause I need more than a minute, or more than a minute, or more than a minute just to pass the time. I need more than a minute, or more just to quit it, or more than a minute, get you out of mind. Cause you make it look easy to up and leave me. Teach me how to leave this shit behind. Cause I need more than a minute, or more just to quit it, or more than a minute, get you out of mind.
Cool.
You know what? I'm curious.
Yeah.
What I would be curious to hear is just an acoustic version.
Yeah. Slow down a little bit.
Well, maybe the same tempo, but maybe like just a great acoustic guitar and vocal.
Yeah.
And
It would make it pop.
I'd be curious to hear that version too. Or this could be this is an artist project, right?
Amazing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have that? Is that version online? Yeah.
Cool. Make one. You should make one.
Yeah.
I think also as I was listening, I feel like there may be some like places where you can restructure too, because the chorus, when you're like more than a minute, there's a lot of more than a minute, and repetition is always good, but there's also like a difference between like something that's repetitive, but then it's like hammering it in where you don't necessarily need it that much. And then what you were calling kind of your post-chorus also kind of felt like a part that could maybe go into a bridge. Like that could be your bridge. That, is kind of a little bit later in the song, and like part of the chorus still wasn't written yet, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also as a strategy for in the world of Spotify and Apple playlisting, things like that, this might be your main version, and then you have a stripped version or acoustic version. And you probably see that like it's the anti-remix. It's if you're having, it's probably a good idea if you have a song you really believe in, and you're really going for, or you're already having some success with a song, to do a different like a chill version for the chill playlist and the acoustic version for the coffee
really
house
good
playlist
point.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's smart.
Because now when you upload things, especially I don't Apple doesn't have a form yet, but with Spotify, anyone who has an artist profile on Spotify, I hope you all know that 1 to 2 weeks before, up to 1 week before the release, you should be filling out your artist profile in the form on Spotify, because that's what's getting populated and reviewed for the playlists. And if you have this main version, you're going to fill out the form in a certain way, and then you have a different version come out a month later, then you can target these other playlists, and who knows what will resonate,
That's very smart. Good advice. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Oh, wait, hold on. There's this guy right here who's going wild. I want to know about you. How? But you said Bloom, Bloom, and then last name? Or what's something else? Because for some reason it's not finding Bloom. Okay. That's all right. That's all right. Okay, Bloom. Line, Bloom Line. Okay, and what's the song? Let's go with Move On, because you couldn't decide. Okay, Move On.
And by the way, there's 14 minutes left in the session, but we'll be able to get a copy of the spreadsheet, right? Or
Yeah, we're gonna go through every song. Hi, you have a question? Oh, you're preemptively putting your hand up. Oh, okay. I see you. Okay, Move On is the song. Oh, no. The song is called Move On. I love you, not Move
Black and white. It's never just an easy answer. Ain't that right? It's hard to see clearly when my mind is hiding things from me. I'm sorry, love. I'm making you do this, making you make me feel better. I'm better now, but from time to time I will need you to make sense of it, even a little bit. And I don't know why I believe these lies in my head.
That sticks out right
In
there.
my
Hit.
head.
Right there.
I wish that I could leave them behind and move on. And move on. Time to rest.
Really cool. You want to go first?
Yeah, my feelings on that song is that it would be definitely a song that I would prompt me to dig further into investigating some more. I mean, all the elements and there's sometimes what I call the DNA of potential hits, and so there's the DNA is there for me to investigate further. So I liked it.
Yeah, when the chorus hit, that was like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
cool. It pulled me in, right? And then when your drop came, it was like, oh, this feels really nice and like feel good, and those are important because again, it's an emotional connection. But your vocalist sounds good, so that's important. And tell us about you. So you produced all of that? Oh, keep her close. Good. Just have a lot of success together then. That's fun. Well, great job. Honestly, it's like I said, when the chorus hit, it pulled us in. That's what you always want. It's like you want that thing that pulls you closer to the music. And again, that's like talking about the song earlier that had the guitar riff in there. It's like you hear that, you're like, oh shit, I want to listen again. So, cool. Thank you so much.
So I feel she has an urgent song
Oh, yes.
to hear.
Independence. Zamoy, got you. This is Spotify too. Tell us about yourself.
So this one is actually the third single off of my third album that I recently dropped on October 4th. I wrote it, composed it, I wrote all the lyrics and music, and I had a small contribution to mixing and mastering. On the track
Amazing.
itself, I sang, did all BGBs, I played piano, electric piano, and percussion.
Wow, amazing. Good for you. That's incredible.
And it's similar to the other song I was playing, it has a small chorus and it has a verse.
Great. Okay, we'll listen there. This is independent.
You
Of
say
course you
you
did.
adore me
That's
and I'm
awesome.
one of a kind, but I caught you slipping, looking from behind. Praise me for the highs, yeah, you're shady on the low. Dirty liar, I ain't playing with you anymore. You say you ain't talking, but I'm always on your tongue. You say you ain't playing, but you find it kinda fun. Don't be trying to fake it when I'm feeling sublime. Take your shade, leave me be in my own spotlight. I'm stronger than I've ever been. Never to be hurt again. Now I'm on my own, like I've been reborn. I'm independent, and you know I can't depend on you. I'm independent, and you know I ain't no one's fool. No, it's too late to say you're sorry. Keep it to yourself, but don't you worry, 'cause I'm independent. Rain on my parade, stomp on my shoes. Don't you have anything better to do? Tryna cut you off, but you're begging for more. You can try and start a fight, but you'll lose my war. I'm stronger than I've ever been. Never to be hurt again. Now I'm on my own, like I've been reborn. I'm independent, and you know.
Cool. It's such a skill to be able to, again, do everything on a record. And you said you mix that as well? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but did you make the instruments? No, I'm just. I
Yeah,
wasn't sure.
oh, yeah, I know. You've done
I made the
everything
guitar.
else.
I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. No.
Yeah.
No, it's impressive. Yeah.
I'm like, if so, let's talk. No, you know what? I think, and do you also write for other people, or do you just write by yourself for your artist project? Yeah. Awesome. I think it's cool to do both. I mean, we have artists who want to write for other people, which is always a dream, you know, scenario where you have somebody who has their passion as an artist, but they want you know, to get their foot inside the door when it comes to writing for other artists, because you get to kind of like exercise that muscle too, which I think is cool. I think in terms of, you know, this song, I think more because I got a little lost in it when I was trying to figure out structure. Maybe that would just take me listening a few times, but I didn't exactly know, you know, especially after what I thought was the first chorus, and it kind of went into the second, what I think is the verse. It also still kind of felt like the chorus, and then when obviously you were hitting on the independent, the next chorus where, you know, you kind of went up there, I got a little lost in it. So maybe it's just thinking about structure of songs too when you're writing, but also like, who am I to say anything, because song structure at the end of the day is like out the window at this point. Like it truly doesn't matter. Like we're not just doing the A B C before. Like that's less important now more than ever. So I'm not going to sit up here and tell you to do that, because who cares really at the end of the day, right? Like you're making stuff that you feel good about and you feel passionate about, and that's what's going to be authentic, you know, and to the people that are listening to your music, and building, you know, fan engagement is so important. I don't know, you know, because you've pushed this out. This is The Whole Truth is an album that you released, right? And you released it this year. Congratulations. That's very exciting to be able to release an album. I'm sure you've been working on it for a long time, which is a huge accomplishment. And did you do a lot of it yourself? Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. I would say just honestly keep at it. And again, you're going to surprise yourself with the things that you learn along the way, and maybe the people that you collaborate with, and just keep developing your sound as an artist, because that's how it works with every artist, is you just are constantly evolving and developing that sound that feels authentic to you, and keep at it. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to?
No, I like the feel. It had like a Portugal the Man type of Feel It Still type of vibe, and like these types of tempos and productions. I think they lend itself well to sync as well. This is not so much an
Definitely
artist.
syncs,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's not so much an artist comment, but from a songwriting perspective, you have your first system to sell your song. So sometimes I would get these demos from songwriters, and the big chorus that would really be the production would really be developed in the second chorus. I'm like, no one's gonna get to that second chorus. You have to like sell it in the first verse and first chorus. However, as an artist, also you have things to keep in mind now with keeping the Spotify algorithm happy. So I don't know if you all know how this works, but
You definitely explain this because this is important.
okay. Well, okay. So, and I'm not an expert here, but this is with all the digital service providers, including like YouTube and things like that. They know how engaged a song is or not. Like they know when Katy Perry puts out a song, they know in the first 2 hours if it's going to be a hit, based on the metrics. And what are the metrics? And again, this is any of those service providers out there. It's, are people skipping the song? Or how long are they going? Are they listening all the way to the end? Are they listening a second time or a third time or a fourth time? Are they sharing it? Are they saving it to a playlist? Are they saving to more than one playlist? And if you have I just know from like Spotify, which is a little bit more transparent on some of these things, if you have like a user to stream ratio, which is very important, of like 3 to 1 is actually like pretty good. That means that for every one user, it's been streamed 3 times, which means, you know, you're listening to at least, the average person's listening to it 3 times. I think with Lauv, I heard the rumor was that it was like an 8 to 1. This is before they went to radio, and they're like, oh, this is obvious, this is a hit. And when people see that those ratios and those metrics work, then they add it to more playlists, or maybe they'll give you a shot in a playlist, but if it's not reacting, then they take it out. So it's important to satisfy, to keep people engaged.
Yeah, it's like hitting a chorus. Like at what point do you hit a chorus, right? If you're like 2 minutes into a song, you haven't heard a chorus yet, I turn off, I tune out.
Well, the other trend is that if you look on New Music Friday, and not that your intentions are all to get on New Music Friday on Spotify, but that's a pretty good thing if you can. It's usually 4 measures of intro or 0. Yeah.
You hit right with the vocal, yeah.
And again, like that shouldn't take away from your artistry, but it's something to keep in mind.
When it comes to pleasing that, but you don't have to please everybody.
Yeah,
you only have to
exactly.
please yourself, because at the end of the day, if it feels good to you, it feels authentic to you, and you believe in yourself, that's what matters, truly. Because if you're making music to please other people, fans see through that, and authenticity is everything.
Absolutely.
So,
I have one plug for my.
Oh, do you?
We're getting down to the final minutes here. I have a book coming out.
Oh,
the
Benjamin,
top
I
of the
didn't
year.
know.
It's working title is, it's a question, is how do I get a record deal? Crossed out. No, fuck the labels and sign yourself. So that's the whole idea of the book and how to do this.
And when is it coming?
Whenever I think it's ready. No, but it's probably going to be mid to late January. But I'm saying that if you go to my website, it's benjamingroff.com. You can sign up for my newsletter, and when I have the release date, I'll send you 2 free chapters and to check out. So, and there's plenty of other goodies.
That's
there.
awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have a plug, but what I do want to say is you guys all coming here today is really awesome. And I know I said this earlier, but it really takes balls. It takes guts to come in here and to play your songs in front of your peers. And that is something to be so proud of. It's so awesome. And I hope you learned something from Benjamin and I, but I also hope you learned a lot about the other people in this room. There's so much talent here. It's such an untapped place for people like Benjamin and I, and we got to keep coming back. I know, Benjamin, you've come here a few times, but you know, it's a place where I look for the best of the best of the best, because I know it's here. And you can do it. Like, believe in yourself. If you're driven, if you're determined to learn, to keep evolving, ride the wave, because it is a wave, right? Like, you have peaks, you have valleys, and keep learning and learn from your mistakes. We all mess up. It doesn't matter. You keep moving forward.
When you stop learning, when you stop learning, you stop earning.
There you go. And that's the truth. But seriously, thank you guys so much. This has really been an honor to come out and be at Berkeley this week. Because I haven't been back since I left. Yeah. Boston has changed. I said I haven't been back since I left. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
That was fun. Thank you. Can you so fun? Can you send us that link? I'll send both of you the link. And send me the whole thing.